Welcome to the Music Reel. I'm your host, Nicola Burton. I have Manny from Pushworth with me today as my guest moderator. And our very special guest with us today is Chris Patrick, who is the manager for the Burdekin Theatre in Ayr in North Queensland. Now, look, this place,
Hello.
theatre. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
How are you going?
Hi, Manny. Yeah, good, thanks. Hi,
Look,
Manny.
I guess I wanted to say a little bit about the theatre because it's quite an iconic place. And you've got this unique, what do you call it, a proscenium arch theatre?
Proscenium Arch Theatre, yeah, seats 500.
It's incredible. And
It's a beautiful theatre.
It's not a place that you really come across very often. So it's a really special, unique stop for a lot of Australian touring artists. So, Chris, we wanted to chat with you today to see, number one, how you're going, and number two, how did lockdown initially impact what you guys were doing up there in the Burdekin Theatre?
Yeah, so look, it all happened in mid-March. So we, as my role here, I look after 3 venues. I look after this one, plus also one at Home Hill, the Burdekin Memorial Hall there, and also the Ayr Showgrounds Hall. So once lockdown came in March, we started cancelling events and everything. And then we also went in and started cleaning venues because we were never sure, how the situation would be within Queensland, whether or not they would use some of these venues for any medical reasons. Right. We sanitised venues, which was a big job. Took a couple of weeks to go through the 2 venues and prepare ourselves for that if that eventuated. And once we got over that hurdle, then we all started to take toil or holidays so that we could all do the right thing and go home and self-isolate for a few weeks, which we did, staggered breaks, and that went off all right. And then then we just virtually came back and started to look at what we could do as a venue in regards to the Queensland roadmap, and follow that, get the updates from them, see how we could go with, what we had to do, because obviously nobody really knew much what we had to do at that stage. So, the 1.5 metre rule, the 4 square metre rule, the sanitisation, the COVID self plan, all that sort of thing started to kick in from there, So it was a big step for us. It's
massive.
Been a learning curve, I know, for all theatres, small and big. It's been tough, really, and it's been tough on everyone, as we know, on the performers, like yourselves. It's been tough on community groups. Nobody can go to the theatre. This theatre in this town is very well supported by the locals.
Yeah,
it's a very cultural town, and they love to come here and support our events. And we had many events that we just had to let go,
So how are the locals feeling about what's going on with you guys? What are the kind of things that they're saying that they'd like to see coming up, or ways that they think that they could all sort of get together and I guess attract more people back to the theatre when, restrictions actually...
Well, the locals actually have quite a few different groups here. As the singers, the Burdekin Singers and Theatre Company. There's dance schools. Then there's these schools, the private and public schools, and they all utilise the venue. So they're missing the venue, but we do get support from those people, and they're still trying to hang on to their bookings that they've got, which is towards the end of this year now and early next year. So we're just governed by the 4 square metre rule, to be honest. At the moment, we're open at the moment, but only in the foyer and other meeting rooms. That's all we're allowed at the moment. We can't open the auditorium yet. But we can only cater for groups of 20. So our business is certainly nothing
crazy,
like it was.
Isn't it? 20
it is
people.
crazy. I've got a little meeting down there at the moment. There's 9 people in that meeting happening right now.
Right.
And this is really all we can do, at the moment, until we get the nod.
And it's such an important aspect of your community. And it's a very strange contrast, because here in Brisbane on Saturday night, we've got 10,000 people are allowed at the Suncorp Stadium. And on the same street, on Caxton Street, 20 people. So it's just the craziest place. Well, I'll bring Manny in now. Manny, I guess you've got some thoughts on this for Chris.
Yeah, it's a massive anomaly between, I guess. Hey, Chris, great to see you again.
You too, my friend. It was lovely to see you.
Absolutely. I think it's a massive anomaly, and it shows you that obviously what I'm noticing and what I'm garnering and being a sporting tragic as well is that the sports side of Australia has suffered some tragedy in the past. So they've learned how to become a central mechanism and a central lobby in the government. So they're a very strong lobby. I guess from our point of view, Chris, and I'll say it again, is that the music and arts industry, so to speak, is a very fragmented. There's a lot of moving parts towards it. Some will fall between the tracks, the cracks, and some will, I guess, flourish like after COVID. So I'm looking at it from our point of view, and especially from an operator of an iconic theatre regionally. First and foremost, how do you see, and now knowing, because you've been a promoter, you've been an organiser of events, you have been significant community influence, how do you see post-COVID playing out for you, as a venue operator, understanding, the arts and entertainment industry?
Yeah, everything for us is governed by the 4 square metre rule. We just can't move forward for that. But having said that, if that is released, then obviously we go back to planning, we go back to booking in, and we go back to working with people like yourself and other people and starting to get shows back in. I know there has been surveys done, and the surveys that I've looked at, surveys to the general public are saying, well, 73% will come back to the theatre, and 7% of those are saying that they'll use the theatre more than they would normally. So the outlook is positive. We just need to get the green flag.
Yes.
We are ready to go.
Yes.
We're waiting to hear from promoters and agents with their shows and their productions. But I guess everyone's just waiting, listening and waiting and watching their own roadmaps to see when we can open up and get business back to normal. And when we're, the staff are waiting. This is the whole thing. Most of my staff are back now, and we're all ready to go. The venues.
I just had a very interesting.
We're just. Yeah, I am booking now for 21 and 22. Obviously, for programming, I always work 12 months in advance. We produce a venue event guide, which is this one here for 220. Well, obviously, this one only got into March, and now everything's going pear-shaped from there. So, we're going to start reproducing the one for 21. So, yeah, we want promoters, we want agents to contact us or put it out there when they're touring in 21. Most of my shows that were booked for 20 have either been cancelled or postponed. And a lot of those are trying to roll over in similar dates, like June the 4th, June the 5th, whatever, 21. So those events are coming back. Some we've lost altogether. Usually finding the ones that are remounting or rehearsing, they're the ones that have gone, because obviously they need a 6-week or 8-week period for rehearsal, and that's nobody can plan anything. That's the problem.
That's right.
So while that's in the air, you can't really go forward because you can't see in the crystal ball,
That's
and then
right.
there's the threat of the second wave. So if that stays low, then I'm hoping that we'll get up and running as soon as possible, as soon as we get the nod. I get asked, when are we reopening? Well, I don't know, but I'd like to certainly think, hopefully, that we'd be reopened by October, November to a reasonable arrangement where at the moment our theatre of 500 seats, we're with the 4 square metre or over the head, we can only get 86 people.
Wow.
So nobody wants to put a show on the road and I can say, well, I'll sell the 86 tickets, because you brought a show here, Manny, and I sold 86, it's considered a failure, as you and I both know.
Absolutely.
So I can't sell that to you, offering that. So we all need, and you're right, Nikki, I mean, they're saying that, you know, the stadiums can do this and whatever, and the sporting groups can have more flexibility than it seems the arts can, to be honest.
Exactly.
Which is really frustrating for, I know, all levels of arts.
See, Chris, you are such an important voice in the community around Australia. For everyone to hear what you're saying, there are regional theatres like yours across the country sharing the same sentiments, the same frustration.
Yeah,
and it's so important to actually tell this story and have this conversation, because until you actually hear what it's like for every individual person, every individual venue, every individual company, you don't know the grand scale of the impact that this has actually had on 3 different industries: the events, hospitality, and music. It's a significant event and a significant impact. So, look, I think your voice today, we are so grateful to hear your story and to share in this conversation. And I hope everyone hearing this, if you've got your tours happening for 21-22, you need to reach out to this man. You need to go to Burdekin Theatre. It is just a beautiful, iconic spot. I don't think there's many theatres around Australia like this one. So,
I mean, we, you know, we help promoters too. Like, and Manny would know, like, if he's got a gig, he needs to fill that gig, I'll try and help him and assist him to, you know, to put it in another venue close by where I know the personal contacts, whereas many may not know them. So we always try and help everybody get their tour on the road. So give us a call, flick us an email. You can contact us through the Burdekin Theatre website. We'll, you know, as they say, we're all in it together, and we are in it together. But I think more important is we're in the recovery together.
Yes.
We got to look forward and get that positivity out there, and let's all get together and get the show on the road. You know? Get
the show on the road. Now, there's the call for action for today, folks. I will have all of the Burdekin.
Sorry about that one.
No, it's perfect. I think that's the hashtag.
Well, it is. I mean, that's what it's about, isn't it? You know. To be honest.
Chris, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to hear your story and hear your thoughts. And we wish you the best in recovery. And I'm sure Manny will be talking to you again very soon about anything else that's coming through. So take care, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Manny.
Cheers, Chris. Take care, mate. Look forward to catching up.
All the best.
Bye.